Dramatic pause. Recurve or not to recurve? That is the question. Is it better to suffer the strings and arrows of a recurve bow than a straight limb bow? Poor impulse control. Okay, ask yourself. You've decided, let's say, that you want to recurve a bow. Why do you want to recurve that bow? Do you want to do it just for the cool factor? Maybe gain a little arrow speed? Huh. Well, think about it this way. There's also the case of, you know, you've made a bow that was green wood or whatever, and it suffered a little string follow, so you want to up the ante as far as arrow speed. The placement of your recurve, let me put this thing away. The placement of the recurve will dictate how much arrow speed you gain. If it's just on the tips, yes, you'll gain a little bit. As you move it in, about a third of the way, if you break the limb into thirds, then you're going to start seeing your greatest advantage, and along the way it's a spectrum. This is why really you see reflex-deflex bows or deflex-reflex bows. They have more of a swoopy recurve that is drawn in more, so they get the most advantage. Drawbacks are, let's just contrast these two. Which one is easier to string? The one that's not recurved. Which one is susceptible to damage or twisting, causing you issues? The recurved one. So there's pros and there's cons. When you recurve a bow, you have to make sure that it's dead straight, especially if it's contact recurve, which means the string, when it's before it's drawn, makes contact with the limb in here. If it's a contact recurve, you really have to make sure that everything is dead straight, or else the string will slide off the side. You'll have issues. And so there are pros and there's cons to recurving bows. Okay, that said, it's going to be a barely contact recurve, by the way. The string is going to just sit right against it and not be wrapped around it. Makes it easier. Makes it easier from a stringing standpoint, so you don't need to worry about twisting your limbs as much. You still need to be very careful when you're stringing a recurve bow, but you're not going to have the issue of the string sliding off. When you're bending the wood, you notice that, if you can, if I was to take this and trace that curve, it would be the same on both sides. Even though one was boiled/steamed longer, one sat in the form longer, the wood, this is hitting a wall. There's a certain amount of contortion or distortion that this wood can sustain before you start damaging stuff. And because I didn't push the envelope, I didn't push the boundaries, I didn't go beyond its wall of feel when I was bending it, it's the same. It's the maximum amount this wood comfortably wanted to bend. Gosh. Okay, I babbled on about recurving a little bit, and hopefully you gleaned some information from it. Recurving can help things. It can rehab a bow that has string follow. It can, if it's just a fresh bow, it can add speed, and the speed depends on the depth into the limb that recurve is bending. The cons are, it's more difficult to string, keeping things from twisting. You run the risk, if it's not backed, of one of the limbs, the bend pulling out over time, so you have an uneven looking bow. There are pros and cons. I would, if you make a lot of bows, sure, you know, recurve as an experiment, see what happens. If this is your bow, you have limited resources, limited time, I would think twice about recurving, unless that's the design of the bow that you're copying or you're reproducing, what have you. Okay, now on to, because I don't want to have a whole bunch of videos I make each day. It's like, wow, you know, this guy like uploaded 10 videos in one day. I'm going to combine things. As far as sinew backing, I had a very good question. Humid area, damp area, as far as using the tight bonds for sinew backing. I'll fully admit, a one-trick pony as far as sinew backing. I haven't, as of yet, used tight bond. I don't want to have a flood of calls, just questions to this gentleman, but Mike Yancey, from what I understand, sinew backs with tight bond on his reflex deflex Osage bow. So maybe order something from Mike, and while he's on the phone, ask him the particulars about sinew backing with a tight bond. I don't know if it's tight bond 2 or tight bond 3. Tight bond 2 would probably work because it's very water resistant. Tight bond 3 is completely water resistant. So you might have to do some special things as far as sizing, the timing of which, not letting the tight bond 3 dry all the way before you put the sinew on it, because glue tends to not glue to itself very well. So I'm going to punt on that one. I can't tell you for sure, you know, the process of sinew backing with tight bond. It might be just as easy as dipping your sinew in tight bond. Maybe you should, I'm throwing some maybes out here. Again, I know hide glue, I don't know tight bond. You might want to soak your sinew bundles in water for a little bit so they stretch out, so you gain the effect when they dry and shrink. I wouldn't say that it would be the best idea to just take dry sinew, dip it in tight bond, not allowing it to stretch so then it can shrink. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody on this, watching this video, has done tight bond sinew backing, and they can help you out. Again, I've never used it, so I don't know what it's like to sinew back. Somebody brought up the notion that maybe just having a urethane or polyurethane coating over the sinew when you sinew back it with hide glue might waterproof it. That's entirely possible. You have your sinew back bow, you use Helmsman spar urethane. Spars are parts of boats, and boats are used primarily in water, and so it probably is a good waterproofing. I'm going to try that first. I just am having a hard time pulling the trigger and sinew backing a bow with tight bond for various reasons. I guess that is enough. I have some rawhide backing to do now. I don't need to do a video on it because I have what I feel is a pretty good series of videos on rawhide backing. Search my channel, just type in rawhide backing and you'll find them. With that, thank you. Got to go up and do some rawhide backing and then work on some other bows. Standard stuff. I don't see the need in doing a video on them because I've done the videos on them already, and there's plenty of other people out there that have done the same thing, using a draw knife on a shaving bench. Yay. Okay. Have a good one, everyone. Okay, so everyone that's just in the bows had turned off this video. They said the end is just me walking back there. Comment about playing music at jams. I went to a place where I hadn't been for 3 years, and I remember kind of why I didn't go back. Is that when you're playing at a jam, you know, you're sitting in a circle, somebody chooses a song to play, everyone plays along with it, the next person then chooses a song, you go around. It's important that you choose your songs that you play so everyone can participate. There's a fellow, guitar player, good guitar player, he should know better. Is that he's going to pick a song. Okay, this one is in B flat. And then the next one is, this is an E minor diminished, you know, and for some instruments, a lot of these keys are hard to play, so you can't really improvise very easily. You can if you play up the neck, you know, you just slide up. But choose your music so there's participation. You know, I tried a little bit on some of my old-time fiddle tunes, and the people are, what key are those in? It's like they're either A or D or E, you know, they're simple. And I had to modify that because I was in a group of people that like to sing these, like, and I'll say it, Jim Croce and Joni Mitchell songs. Thank goodness they didn't play Wagon Wheel. I've played that like one too many times. But they like to do singy songs and not just old standard fiddle tunes. And they're lost when they do that. Another thing is, when you choose your song, allow people to play solos instead of just playing your song through, doing it your way, regardless of everyone else in the room. What you're going to do is you're going to turn people off, and especially if you have a whole group of people that just operate that way, where they're just going to play their song and not then look at you and let you play something, It's not fun, and pretty soon your jam is going to dwindle to like 4 people like this one was. It went from a peak of like 20 when I was playing it, and then people kept like leaving, and now it's down to about 4 people. And that is exactly why. Tailor your songs so people can participate. Don't play in keys that are weird. You know, you want to show off that you can play in B flat diminished minor 7th. I'm making that up just for exaggeration to bring my point home. And also allow other people to participate by looking at them and allowing them to play a solo. Otherwise, you're going to be playing by yourself, or there's going to be 2 people just playing their own songs just to be playing in front of somebody else, and it's not going to be that fun. That is my rant. Now, I promise I'm going to turn this thing on.